Hi, welcome back, and we're on to the next video of Igor. And as you can see, this is basically an outline of the piece. We have the New York Times back in the background, and we have a piece of his on the bottom, and we're merging them together. And you don't see his face because of the coffee mug, which is the way we want it to be. He has a black tie also, so I want to get on with sort of the details, a little bit of the highlighting, the dark, the light, and then we're going to put on the skin tones, and then we're going to mash the two together. So let me just get over to the tie. The tie is black. I like the tie being black because the coffee cup is black, and that really makes a very dramatic look. His tie is, I'm not going to get too much into the details of the tie, but I do want the tie to be black and then sort of go down into the piece that is down below. So it goes down. And I guess I could say it kind of goes down as if some of the, kind of like the lines that are on his piece right here. So we kind of are connecting the tie to the piece. And now I want to blend it down so gentle so that it really does blend down beautifully. A little bit more. Okay, good. So that you see it a little bit and you can see how it's blending down. Now, at the end, I'm going to put on my airbrush adaptation and I'm going to make it look airbrushed, which is kind of like spray painting. And that's going to be my highlighting as I go. Okay, so that tie is now moving its way down into the piece. He has some black outlining of his letter style, so it's kind of cool that the tie is going down into it. A little bit darker. And my style is a pastel. I used to be an airbrush illustrator, so I understand how the structures of the letters go, and I'm liking how it all can blend together. And what I'll do is I'll add the airbrushing on at the end to highlight and pull it all together. Okay, so make sure I didn't mess that up. Okay, great. So that's already got a real dramatic look to it. I want to go up into his face and do a very, very little bit of black highlighting. I don't like to use black very often, but for this particular piece, I do want to do a little bit of black highlighting. Very little. So you'll see that, oh, that moved. So you'll see that there. He has much more of a turn on his eye. And there. And, you know, you really can't see the color of the eyes, and I don't want to see the color of the eyes. I'm also going to use my eye color that I use the most, and I'm going to put that in there. And later on I'll hit it with a highlight. I'm going to go back to the black again, and we're going to do the other side. And we're going to just do just a little bit of the highlighting. We don't want it to be too much because I don't want it to stand out too much. There. There. I think that was too much. So, let me take that off of there. I like the black in the corner though, but I have to be careful. Right there. There. And I'm going to go back to my eyeball color and highlight that a little bit there. As you can see, it's not a bright color. It's not supposed to be a bright color because there's not a bright color there. So we're just going to do a little bit of representational marks. There. I'm going to pick up that dark red that I like to use, and I'm using that in the eye also. That's one of my colors that I like to highlight with because it really goes beautifully with the colors that I like to use, the hot colors. Okay. And we're going to do this color because he has his, the lightness of his eyes is coming around like that. Good. Great. A little brighter than I wanted it to be. Okay. So let me also do some shadowing right here around his eyes. I'm just doing a very nice wash, not a lot. Oh, that's too much. And see, you can always back up. Now underneath his eyes here, you could see that I can create this area and do a gentle area just like that. Okay, and it goes kind of from his corner of his eye down, and obviously I don't want it to look like that, so I'm going to, again, like I usually do, if you're going to wash down, you also have to wash up, so you blend the colors up and down. If you were using pastels, you'd be doing exactly the same thing. So this is exactly a very good representation of a pastel medium. And I'm using the pastel, when you're up high like this in the pastel, it's a very hard color. So let's just pick a bright color. Let's do something with it. So if I was using the side of my pastel and I pushed down really hard, this is what it would look like. That's really hard, so I don't want that. So if I want to, a medium, pushing down is like that. Very nice. And if I just want to touch it a little bit, and I'm literally just barely touching it, you can see there's just a little bit of a highlight. And I don't want it to be like hard lines like that, so let me back it up a little. So I keep it really low, and I make a really big side, like I'm using the full side of a pastel, and I'm now touching the whole side there. Very good. Okay? Now on the other side of his eye, I want to pick up, there's some highlights right on the side, which I want to get. Don't want to miss them. And I don't want to make it look too detailed. I don't want too much detail. I just want what I call like representation. So over there, I'm picking up just over the eye, and he has some coloring that's going like this, between the eyes to stop the top from the bottom, and it's really like that. Okay, that looks good. Again, I'm going to pick up that purple, and I'm going to wipe it down up towards the coffee mug over there. And the coffee mug has some highlights, so let's pick up some cool highlights here. We're going to go to purple. This is the black. Let's go up to a silvery color. And again, you know, you don't want to make it too white because there's really not much white. So there's a part right here that picks up a little highlight, and of course down at the bottom there's a highlight also, right there, and one right there, just like that. Okay, we're just going to leave it at that. There's also a highlight I see on the coffee, there. Also what I want to do is just fill in the whole coffee cup, because this is all dark back here and you don't really see it, but it's all, when things aren't filled in, you'll see that there's just blank space back there. So let's just fill that in, fill in the bottom underneath, blending it and filling it. Okay. The eye on the left, I just want to touch it a smidge over here, right there, and make his eyes a little bit darker because they are dark. He has brown eyes. And his hairline over here, we're going to bring it down, and we're going to make it a little darker over there, and we're going to outline where his hair is and along his ears, and that's it. Okay, I'm going to be ending the video here to move on to the following Egors Day Job artwork, follow up with video number 3. I appreciate you watching, and I hope you subscribe to my channel and give me a thumbs up if you enjoy these lessons. Aloha and a hui hou.